First of all, to all of our benefactors here tonight, thank you so much for joining us, and most importantly, thank you for supporting our scholarship endowment program. You know, last year's version of this event was my first ever Georgia Tech celebration, my first time to be here, be at a Georgia Tech event. I can't believe it's been a year. It's the fastest year that I've ever experienced, I think, in my entire life, but it was a great chance to meet so many of you and take part in a special celebration that, to my mind, really connects us in a way that really focuses on the fundamental purpose of intercollegiate athletics. And that's the education and development of our student athletes into young men and young women who are fully prepared to take on life's challenges and contribute in a positive way to our society. Speaking of our student athletes, and we got a lot of them here tonight, in my short time here, I can tell you that I've begun to take great pride in who they are, what they do on a day-to-day basis, what they're able to accomplish, balancing all the different responsibilities that we place on them from an athletic perspective, from an academic perspective, and just growing up into young men and women. But they do a great job of it. And most importantly, I appreciate how they represent Georgia Tech with great pride, with great honor, in a way that makes us very proud each and every day. To all you that are here tonight, the student athletes, it's a great opportunity for you to express your appreciation to folks that have helped make your Georgia Tech experience possible, and to strengthen or build relationships with people that are really important and committed to the Georgia Tech family and community. You know, it's often said that you're known by the company you keep. So tonight, for most of us, it's a real opportunity for an upgrade. So take advantage of that. Make sure you get to know these folks. I know it is for me. I'm not usually in the company of such nice people, so it's a great night for me. To our donors, and really everyone here tonight, the scholarship program is a critical component of our future success. It's truly a foundational element of how we finance our intercollegiate athletics program. It provides us a stable and predictable source of funding that is absolutely necessary for us to compete and win at the highest level. As we sit here today, our endowment's in a pretty good place. We're in the $40 million range or so on a scholarship endowment perspective. That's a very good thing. And we're really, really grateful to all of you and so many of others that have helped get us to that point. However, as good as that 40 million sounds, and it's really good, and we're so far ahead of a lot of people, we're only a little more of a third of the way from where we really need to be in order to give ourselves a chance to compete, particularly as the cost of higher education continues to rise and we look to advance the performance of our program. Every dollar that's generated by the scholarship endowment is one more dollar we can invest in other needs of our program. So everything you all do, everything you've done for us, really helps the rest of our total athletic program succeed and operate. So thank you so much for that. As we work in the years ahead to enhance our scholarship endowment, I'm hopeful all of you will continue, to the extent you're able, to contribute to your endowment fund and to continue to grow that. And at the same time, encourage other members of the Georgia Tech family to join in and take advantage of this great opportunity. Thank you all for being here tonight. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. All right, now we turn to our first student athlete. This student athlete is a two-time All-ACC softball player, Alicia Rudnick. Last year, she had a very gaudy, pretty darn good .399 batting average that slotted her second in the entire Atlantic Coast Conference. Off the diamond, Rudnick is a three-time All-ACC academic honoree with a 3.56 GPA. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alicia Rudnick.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here tonight. So first, I just want to talk a little bit about who I am, how I got here at Georgia Tech, and then a little bit of what I've learned at Georgia Tech. First, I am, like he said, on the softball team. I'm a senior this year, and I am a business student concentrating in operations and supply chain, and I will be graduating in May, as crazy as that sounds. So I'm from Georgia. I grew up about 40 minutes north of here, and I am a part of a big family. There's 7 of us total. I have 4 brothers and 2 sisters, and so it's definitely a competitive family, and it's fun, and it's a little bit different. For example, if this dinner was at my house, you might have gotten your roll thrown at you, so just something a little bit different. And But yeah, we love playing games. We love to be competitive. Another example of my family, I've got ages from 30 years old to 14-year-old younger sister and every age in between. And whenever we come together for Christmas, we always play a Don't Break the Ice tournament, which for those of you who don't know, it's like a game that's like 2 years old and up. So it gets pretty competitive. And so, and all my older siblings, they all played baseball and softball ahead of me. So by the time I got to be about 6 years old, I was begging my parents to play softball, and they let me. And so that was one of the best things ever. And so, and I love playing all sports. Just loved playing anything I could. Just wanted to win, wanted to compete. Loved playing with the boys and everything. And so when I got to be 15, which is about the time that recruiting happens for sports, and I realized that there was an opportunity for me to get to play softball in college. That was exactly what I wanted to do. I was like, okay, this is what I want, so I started working even harder for that. And with that, I knew that I wanted to go to Georgia Tech. It was at the top of my list. So many good things. It was a great program, is a great program, the school's great, so I really, really wanted to go to Georgia Tech. And I can remember being 15 years old with my dad, kind of typing out some emails to them to make them sound really good, and to the coaches, and sending videos, and I would even go and watch the games with my mom at the old field, which we always got lost. If you don't know, the old field is off campus, and it's really hard to find. So I'm thankful for the new field. For one, it's the most beautiful field ever, but two, like, my mom can find it and come to games on time. So that's a plus. So yeah, it was a little discouraging that I didn't get a whole lot of response back, but then I can remember one weekend I had a really good weekend, and my team did really well in a tournament, and Georgia Tech called me that Sunday, and I can remember we set up a visit for that coming Wednesday, and from there it's just confirmed how much I love the school and the campus and everything about it. They offered me, and within, I think, a week and a half, I had committed, which is a really short time, but I knew at the time this is where I wanted to be, and I still stand with that decision. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. And looking back over the past 4 years, I can just say that I've had so many good memories from this, and it's just changed my life in such a good way. I've been a part of a regular season ACC championship team. I've been a part of a ACC tournament championship team, along with being with some of the best, playing with some of the best players in the country, and having one of the best senior classes I could ever ask for, and they're here tonight. And even just the new coaches this year, it's been so wonderful. It's been such a blessing. And so one thing I could say that I've learned over the past 4 years here at Georgia Tech in everything, I would say, is that the good things or the best things don't come easy, and that it always costs you something. Before I got to Georgia Tech in high school, I'm sure like most of the athletes here, things came pretty easy to me. I was very talented, so I could get good grades and I could do well in softball without putting too much effort into it. But that wasn't the case when I got here to Georgia Tech. I can remember, I don't really know how to describe it or if you can even prepare, but Georgia Tech school and athletics is just on another level. And I can even remember going into my first calculus class at 8 a.m. as a freshman with a couple of my teammates and walking out of there not knowing what the teacher was talking about. And she was speaking perfect English, so I knew I needed a tutor for that. And then I can also remember in the weight room, I came into school thinking, I'm pretty strong. And then after the first week of weights, I couldn't even wash my hair in the shower because I couldn't hold my arms up for that long. I was so sore. So, and there were a lot of other humbling experiences like that in the beginning, and a lot of making mistakes. And kind of from that, just learning that making the little mistakes like staying up too late, not studying, things like that, don't get you the results that you want. And I can even remember seeing some of the older girls, and they were more successful, and thinking, why are they more successful? Like looking at myself and looking at them, and then it occurred to me, oh, okay, they're studying more, they're getting sleep, they're going to bed at a decent hour, and things like that. And so it kind of took things like that to really learn what it was to have discipline. And so every single day we have choices. I had choices, and there's always the bad choice that's going to hurt me. There is the choice that's not going to help me but not going to hurt me, and then there's the best choice. And of course, the best choice is always the hardest one. And at Georgia Tech, you learn that you have to take the best choice. You have to do the hard thing, or you're not going to succeed. Because if you continue to not study, or if you continue to just try and coast in your sport, it's not going to work. You are going to fail, and you probably won't be here for very long. So looking back at the past 4 years, I'm so thankful that Georgia Tech has that standard of excellence and has just that amazing standard for success, because it's pushed me to do the right things, to be disciplined, to make the right choices now so that it will benefit me in the long run. And I feel so much ahead of some of my friends from other schools because I have learned these things. And it hasn't always been easy. It definitely isn't in the grind of things. A lot of student athletes here, and a lot of probably we're student athletes or just students at Georgia Tech, you know how hard it can be here, and it can get exhausting. I can remember a lot of times just not wanting to work as hard as I should, or just wondering why I was working hard when I couldn't really see the success of it in that moment. And one thing that I always try and remind myself and just kind of think about is this Bible verse, Galatians 6:9, and it says, "Do not grow weary in doing good, for in due season you will reap reward if you do not give up." And so I can just remember a lot of times when I was really struggling, just telling myself, do good, Alicia, keep persevering, and it will be rewarded in the end. And so I'll just close with this. Looking at the student athletes here and myself, I'm so excited for when we do graduate, because I know that Georgia Tech has taught us how to work hard and how to do our best, so that we've already learned that discipline, and we're going to be ahead of the game. When we go out into the world, I am so confident that we are going to make an impact, and we are going to be influencers. I don't see us going into the workplace or into our communities and just being average or mediocre. I really do. I believe that each and every one of us are going to make an impact, and I think that's the best thing that I can take away from Georgia Tech. And getting to stand up here right now, even saying that I've got to play softball at Georgia Tech for 4 years and get this education, it's been such a blessing to me, and I'm so thankful for this, and I just hope one day that I can be in your shoes doing this, like making someone else's dream come true for someone like this for me, because this has just meant so much to me. So thank you for who you are and what you do, and thank you for hearing me speak.
Thanks, Alicia. I'm told we have our first lost and found item of the night. Some student athlete, has left a number 12 Russell book bag back there. Who was it? Who's number 12? Yeah, my man Quentin Stevens, a freshman from nearby here in Atlanta. So you can claim that on your way out as a door prize. Well, now we get a chance to hear from one of our endowment donors. We're going to hear from two of them, but the first one is Jimmy Trimble. He's a 1991 graduate of the Scheller College of Business at Georgia Tech. He serves on the executive committee of the Georgia Tech Alumni Trustees, as well as on the advisory committees of the Scheller College of Business and the College of Interactive Computing. He also has chaired several nonprofits and civic organizations around Atlanta, including but not limited to the Academy of Medicine, the Georgia Tech Sigma Nu Alumni Association, and Camp Evergreen. Professionally, Jimmy has been in banking for 20 years. He currently serves as the Director of Private Banking at Fidelity Bank. Jimmy and his wife Laura, daughter Kate, and son Trip, who all sit with me over there at table number 1, they live in Buckhead, and they all enthusiastically scream on the weekends, "Go Jackets." So let's welcome Mr. Jimmy Trimble.
Okay, thank you. I have a little scratch in my throat. We were just coordinating the water here, so he was kind enough to bring it up for me, so thank you very much. Forgive me if it's distracting. Alicia, thank you so much. Where'd you go? Oh, right there. There you are. I appreciate that beautiful message about making good choices. We talk about that quite a bit in our house, and in fact, that constitutes most of the conversation on most mornings in carpool. So it's good to hear it from someone else. And so my son over here looked at me and said, "It's a good life lesson." That's what we say in our house. So whenever I start, they just go, "It's a good life lesson." So. So I am Jimmy Trimble. I'm a proud graduate of Georgia Tech, proud husband of Laura, and proud father to Kate and Trip. It's always good to have my family with me, and I love you very much. So before I get started tonight, I have a request for each of you, and that is that at the end of my talk tonight, you're probably going to clap, not maybe because of something so inspirational that I say necessarily, but it's what we do. We're polite people. We clap at the end. But when you do that, I want to ask that you please direct that applause to those who have come before us, those who have laid the foundation that we're standing on right now, and allowed us to then build from there and grow even further and build that foundation even further. Some people say that we're standing on the shoulders of giants, and I just love that visualization, that we are being held up by the gifts that have been given us by past generations that we can then use to further build and give future generations that blessing too. So I'll start by addressing the student athletes and just tell you how much we appreciate you, and we just love watching you play. That's what I tell my kids when they come off of the field or the court. I'd say, I love watching you play. Both of them are very talented academically. Well, academically too, they make really good grades, but we're here to talk about sports tonight. They're both very talented athletes, which is a little bit of a mystery given their immediate genetic roots. But nevertheless, they are very gifted in their sports, and it is just fun to watch them play. And some days they're the best on the field or the court, and some days they're not, but they always leave it on the court or leave it on the field. That's what we talk about in our house. Leave it on the court, leave it on the field. It's the way we try to live our lives. And so I tell them when they come off, I just loved watching you play. And I say that to you student athletes in the room here tonight. You leave it on the court. You leave it on the field. And I think I speak for everybody in the room tonight when I say we just love watching you play. That's an applause line. Come on. Worked hard on that. Worked hard on that. I'd also like to thank our student athletes for the extra rep or repetition. And what I mean by that is when I was in high school, I wasn't nearly as accomplished of an athlete as you in this room, but I did play 2 sports all the way through high school, and I learned some valuable lessons. Among them, that in the weight room, you need to push through the fatigue and the difficulty to finish that last rep or those last 2 reps. And it's when you're so fatigued, when you're so tired, that's when you're going to get the most benefit out of that last rep. And so I also want to thank you all for giving that last rep, whether in your sport that's watching extra film or studying your opponent a little longer or extra time in the weight room or in the batting cage or an extra sprint or an extra mile or an extra bump set spike or whatever it is in your sport. I just thank you for that extra rep because it makes it a lot more fun for all of us to watch. So, it's really that commitment to the extra rep that made it easy for me and my family to make the decision to commit to fully funding a $500,000 athletic scholarship endowment. Laura and I are very grateful people, and we know where our blessings come from. In our house, we know that our biggest gratitude goes to God, who has given us gifts and talents that He expects us to use for His glory. And we also know how we have benefited so greatly from our association with Georgia Tech. And because of that, we've chosen to give back and to pay it forward. And one of the ways that we've chosen to pay it forward is what Mindy asked me to speak with you about tonight, and that is, in 2006, Laura and I met with Mindy to discuss some planned giving, and one of the things that we discussed was establishing an athletic scholarship endowment. And at the time, we talked about how we could use that to really benefit future generations of athletes, but we also wanted to help reinforce with our own children the importance of giving and the importance of living your life for other people. And so we decided to name it after them. And so we named it the Kate and Trip Trimble Athletic Scholarship Endowment. So I wanted to bring them with us here tonight to celebrate that. That truly has been a blessing for us because it has reminded the kids that it is important to give back, and it is something that has their name on it that will, for many years to come, be a reminder of their responsibility to also live their life in such a way that they use their gifts and talents to give back and benefit others. On a related note, I shared this story with Mindy, and she thought I should share it with you. I thought it's a good story. Late last year, we were doing some family planning, strategic planning over breakfast at a local place near our house, and one of the things we talked about was where we wanted to place our largest financial commitment for 2014 after our giving to the church. And enthusiastically, without question, the number one place that the enthusiasm was placed was to more rapidly fully fund the academic scholarship here at Georgia Tech. So just want all of you student athletes to know we're with you. Everybody in this room is with you. We're behind you 100%. We're all in with you. So we love watching you play, and we love you. So I'll leave you with this thought from the movie It's a Wonderful Life. On the wall of that movie, you may remember in the background there, it says, there's a sign, it says, "You can only take with you that which you give away." That's pretty good. Think about that. You can only take with you that which you give away. For some of you in the room, it might be, what you give away might just be as simple as the love in your heart, or it might be a really big check to Georgia Tech Athletics. But whatever it is for you, whatever you give away is the only thing you can take with you. So you may be on the fence thinking about maybe endowing a second scholarship or third, or you may be thinking about your first academic athletic endowment scholarship. Whatever it is, in your case, what you give away is what you can take with you. So as I leave you tonight, I'll just remind you, when you offer your applause tonight, if you choose to do so, please do so in remembrance of those who have gone before us and given so much and taken so much with them. Go Jackets.
Thanks, Jimmy. Now we talk about Robbie Godhead, who came to Georgia Tech as an unknown walk-on, and he will leave an all-ACC running back. I didn't know this until today, and I should have known it earlier, but his 9.1 yards per carry goes down as the second best ever in ACC history, not just Georgia Tech history. And in December, he was given the prestigious Piccolo Award for being the league's most courageous player. He's also good off the field. He's a Dean's List student. He's already graduated in December with a degree in management. Here he is, Robert Godhead.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Robbie Godhead. As he just said, I just graduated in December with a degree in business, and I'm just going to tell you all a little bit about, how I got to Tech and how everything really helped me as far as coming in as a walk-on and everything. I went to high school right up the street in Kennesaw, Georgia at Harrison High School. I played football and I ran track, and I had a pretty good high school career. I was named All-State and the County Player of the Year my senior year. During the recruiting process my senior year, I didn't really have too many offers or looks really. People came to my school and kind of saw I was a little short, and they were like, "You're a good player. We're just looking for somebody bigger." For a 17-year-old high school kid, that could be a little discouraging. But I actually received one offer, and that was from Wofford in the beginning of December. And with signing day, kind of close, and that being my only option, I went ahead and committed to Wofford. But Georgia Tech came and gave me a call in the beginning of January saying that I could be a preferred walk-on here. And I talked things over with my family, prayed on the decision, and I decided to take on that challenge and be a preferred walk-on here. And I didn't know it at the time, but it's the best decision that I could have made coming here. I redshirted my freshman year as I expected. I came in and worked hard trying to impress the coaches. During that time, I learned from some of the great Georgia Tech football players that play here, like Bebe and Dwyer and Roddy, and just watch their work ethics and how they approach the games and practice and everything. And it was a great experience for me, just seeing that as an 18-year-old kid. I've always worked hard my whole life. That's just something my parents instilled in me, especially being short and having that disadvantage, just to work hard in everything you do and never give up. My third year here, I was able to receive a scholarship and start and help contribute to the team leading us to an ACC championship. Unfortunately, we lost the game, but it was just a great feeling knowing that I was able to help contribute to the team's success as a former walk-on and finally seeing my hard work pay off. Also, another great thing that year, we ended our losing bowl streak that year with a win over USC, and that was definitely another great moment, just helping the team end that losing streak and end the season on a good note. And then last year, my senior year, was another good year. I was able to make a few plays for the team, have a couple accolades that were mentioned before, and I'm just extremely thankful for everything that's happened to me these past 4 years here, and especially coming in as a walk-on, having Endowment people like yourselves is definitely a huge honor, and I'm extremely grateful for all that you all do for us, not just with athletics, but life in general. I know me personally playing football, seeing you guys on Yellow Jacket Alley every week is just awesome, seeing that support from you all, rain or shine, seeing you guys out there supporting us. I know coming in as a freshman, I didn't even know how to use my buzz card. And so just having that, something as little as that support from you all just goes a long way. And I can't begin to thank you all enough for all that you've done. Last but not least, I know I've said it plenty of times, but I just want to thank you all again for all that you've done, especially in my life, being able to receive a scholarship and receive a degree from a great institution like this. So thank you again, and go Jackets. God bless.
Thanks, Robbie. Now we will hear from our other endowment donor to the sport of golf, and that's Tom Noonan. He's the General Manager of EnergyWise Solutions for Cisco Systems. He was most recently Chairman and CEO of Jewel X, an innovative energy management company that he co-founded in 2010 that was acquired by Cisco last year. Prior to that, Noonan was Chairman, President, and CEO of Internet Security Systems, which was acquired by IBM. He's also an active venture capitalist through his firm, Tech Operators, LLC. Noonan holds a mechanical engineering degree from Georgia Tech and a business degree from Harvard University. Tom Noonan's smart. He serves on a plethora of boards and committees, including the White House National Infrastructure Advisory Council. He is also a very active philanthropist, supporting education, environmental, and healthcare causes and issues. One of his causes is the Doc Noonan Senior Golf Scholarship endowed at Tech, and that's named for his father. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Thomas E. Noonan.
Thank you for that generous introduction. I am delighted to be here tonight, and I just want to say how proud I am of Robbie and Alicia and Shayla, who's at my table, and all of the athletes here. You give us all a reason to be proud every day of our alma mater. We're getting old. We can't run or jump or throw like you, but believe me, we're with you in spirit. My wife, Kim, and I are here. Kim was my freshman chemistry lab partner at Georgia Tech 30 years ago. And so Georgia Tech relationships are enduring, and we are delighted to be here tonight with our friends and Yellow Jacket athletes. The decision to give a scholarship in my dad's name 10 or 12 years ago when he passed away had everything to do with my dad and what he loved. He loved golf, and he loved Georgia Tech, even though he did not go to Georgia Tech. He was a transplanted New Yorker who came down here in 1950 and happened to buy a house on Cherry Street right across from Rose Bowl Field. So I have wonderful family pictures of the Alexander Memorial Coliseum going up and the Rose Bowl Field of 1950. But he fell in love with Georgia Tech living on the campus. Ultimately raised 6 of us, and that 2-bedroom house was just too small, so we had to move up north. That donation really sparked an intense interest in the golf program here at Georgia Tech and with Coach Hepler, and Kim and I decided this year that we would make the lead gift to transform the 14th Street property over there behind IKEA into the permanent home of Georgia Tech Golf, and we're very, very proud to do that. So our giving continues. As Brandon mentioned, I actually sold 2 of my companies last year, so I have retired for the 3rd time again in my life, officially coming up, and so I've really gotten into the game of golf again, and I'm getting pretty good. In fact, my dear wife Kim says I can now hit the ball almost as far as I can throw the clubs. So I'm making real progress, and with any help at all, maybe Coach can give me a few lessons. Just a couple of comments. First and foremost, having a permanent practice facility on campus, I believe, was critical to a winning program. Kim and I have given millions of dollars away from our foundation, but we really don't look at giving money away. We look at investing in causes that we believe in, causes that make a lasting impact. So when I think about helping to create the permanent home of Georgia Tech Golf, I think about the dreams of the kids that are out there that might become next year's Masters champion with that Georgia Tech logo on their arm, or the British Open champion of 10 years from now because they had the opportunity to practice consistently on a facility instead of having a multi-story apartment building, which was what was going to happen to that property without the support of Kim and I, and certainly without the strong support of Bud Peterson, our president, Mike, our athletic director, and Bruce, our coach. So it's very, very exciting for us to be a part of this. And I think, when I looked at the statistics of Georgia Tech Golf, I actually had to print them off because Brandon says I'm smart, but I have a good memory, but it's short. I can't remember all these things, but I mean, first of all, we go into the season this year, Georgia Tech golf team ranked number 2, and we like that position. That allows us to come up from behind and spank number 1. But if you look at our statistics, 24 NCAA finals appearances for this golf team. That's world class. 143 ACC academic honor roll selections, 25 academic All-Americans, 23 academic All-ACC golf team selections. Our coach, Bruce, won the National Coach of the Year once. We've got British amateur champions, We've got 9 guys on the professional tour right now. I believe it's 9, and every single one of them represents this institution in a way that we can all be proud of, just like all of our student athletes here. So investing in this facility and investing in these scholarships for us is a way to keep the spirit alive and to keep the Georgia Tech traditions burning bright. You know, it's a area of our philanthropy that we believe strongly in, and we believe strongly in it because we have the opportunity to meet people like Seth Reeds, who's not just a great golfer, but is a great student athlete like so many of you. So we're humbled by your commitment and your dedication to your sport, and we're very, very proud to be part of your team. And Kim and I thank each and every one of you. Go Jackets.
All right, last but not least, our final student athlete to speak tonight is Kayla Bivens, starting center and captain on the women's basketball team. Last week, big week for the women if you didn't see it, she helped the Jackets improve to 16-8 with huge wins over number 11 North Carolina and down in Miami against the Hurricanes. Off the court, Bivens has already earned her degree in science, technology, and culture, and is one of just 2 student athletes selected to serve on the Division I Women's Basketball Issues Committee. Please give a round of applause for Kayla Bivens.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me? Okay, I thought I was gonna have to bend down. Okay. So first, let me begin by saying I am extremely honored to be able to speak to such a distinguished crowd tonight. Thank you, Mindy, and the rest of the Alexander-Tharpe Fund. Felix Frankfurter once said that gratitude is the least of the emotions to articulate. And in preparing for this speech, I completely agree. I am so overwhelmed with emotion when I even begin to try to say thank you to all of you all who have consistently given so much to Georgia Tech athletics. So I tried to write a speech, but it was just too much, so I'm just gonna speak from the heart. So here goes nothing. Okay. Whew. This past summer, my teammates and I had the amazing chance to tour Europe. And one week in August, I remember it was like yesterday, I was standing on the top of the Eiffel Tower, looking down over all of Paris, and I was flabbergasted. I was in awe. And as I started to reflect back on how I got there, I could not help but think about every single person in this room who has ever given a cent to Georgia Tech athletics. Without you and obviously your money, but your time and your energy and your love, I would not have been standing on the top of the Eiffel Tower looking down on Paris with 12, 13 of my teammates. And I just have to say thank you for investing in us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's like I said, it's such an I get so emotional because I would not be who I am without you. And I just want to say thank you for investing in us. And thank you for that opportunity to tour Europe and for several opportunities that I've had during my career here at Georgia Tech. For example, this past summer, I had the opportunity to intern at a law firm here in Atlanta called Gordon Reese. And there I was able to assist the partners at that firm with the Alex Rodriguez case against the MLB. I'm sure you have heard of that. I was also able to do some work for Anthony Cromartie and the rapper 50 Cent, and also look at Dwight Howard's contract before he signed with the Houston Rockets. So, I mean, it was a really awesome experience, and I mean, the list goes on, but I mean, without you all and your commitment to Georgia Tech athletics, I would not have been able to do that. Additionally, I've also been able to be the president of the Student Athlete Advisory Board. And that's something that's very near and dear to my heart, and I thank you for that as well. Being able to impact the community is such an awesome thing. And you all have set the standard very high because, when I took over that role, I made sure that as Georgia Tech student athletes, the people in the community felt our presence and knew that we wanted to be one with them and build a partnership with them. And that's something that I learned from you all. I think that you have definitely, excuse me, I think that you all have definitely showed that you want to help us, as both the donors said tonight. As student athletes, myself and my peers, we tried to emulate that. Also, I had the opportunity to play in the Sweet 16 against Baylor and Brittany Garner, which is amazing. As a little girl growing up in Jacksonville, Florida, I knew that running back and forth to AU tournaments and practices would pay off and that I would play in college somewhere. But it never really hit me that I would be able to play in a Sweet 16 game and be able to help my teammates get there, or to even watch Ty Marshall break the scoring record last week. Like, that's awesome, and hey, Ty. And lastly, you all have given me an opportunity to make my parents proud, and that in itself is invaluable. My mother and my father are here tonight. Hey, guys. I've been able to do some really cool things, and we played in Miami last night. My mom drove down. She's here today. They've been so supportive, and without you all, she couldn't have driven up half of the East Coast. So thank you. And I just want to say that because of your generosity and all that you've contributed, I felt as though coming into my last year here at Georgia Tech, it was important that we begin to change the culture of the student athletes here, and that we stress that as student athletes, when our opportunity comes, it will be important for us to give back. So when my teammates and I got back from Europe, we decided to contribute a portion of our per diem to the AT Fund to help with funding Georgia Tech athletics. And I hope that that's something that will hopefully ignite a fire under some of the other teams and other athletes. I know that things get a little competitive, so Georgia Tech women's basketball has started it, and let's see who'll follow up. And lastly, I just want to say thank you to a few specific donors, and I know that all of Georgia Tech women's basketball donors aren't present tonight, but I'd just like to specifically thank Tom and Polly Sapatowicz, Mary and John Brock, Jay and Dot, you guys are awesome. You guys are all awesome. Jack Poole, and I want to thank my donors, Jim and Shayla Nichols, and ironically, my donor's name is Shayla too. It's pretty cool. They weren't able to make it tonight, but I am sincerely grateful for everything that you have done, not just for myself, but for my peers and for my teammates. Thank you.
Okay, so now we need one final round of applause for all the donors and the student athletes.